Okay, what we're going to do here is go through my basic Kingfish setup here. So I'll start with the rod. It's a Monster Mesh Max. It's a few years old. There's obviously some updated models. This is the MXS 531-300. It's 160 centimeters, one piece. And the line rating on this is PE 6 to 8 with a max jig rating of 300 grams. Awesome rod made by Daiwa. Like I said, I've had it for years. It's only a short rod, but built tough and caught many kings over the years. The reel is the Saltist 6500H. Again, this is an older model. Had it for years and built like brick, you know what. Drag is awesome. I've updated the drag washers on this to Carbon-Tex, and apart from thank you to Daiwa placing that bail arm, which I somehow broke in storage, nothing else has been replaced, and it's, like I said, very tough reel that's caught a lot of kingfish over the years and still going strong. So what I'll do also today is go through my basic rig. I don't like to make it too difficult. Yes, there are lots of other knots and ways to tighten your rigs, but I might like to make it easy so that when I'm on the water, if I need to re-rig, it's pretty easy to do. But as we say at board fishing, let's make it simple. Alright, so I run about 80-pound braid on this setup. Find with the Kingfish, obviously fishing structures, drop-offs around moorings and all those sorts of things, so you need to give yourself all the chance when fishing those sort of structures to get the fish out, and quite often they'll get you in those areas. An 80-pound braid is pretty strong. You're not going to break it, but a kingfish will do you in 10 seconds or even 1 second around a mooring, even though it's 80 pound. Okay, in terms of the connections, I like to do a Bimini twist in my main line, this 80-pound braid. So I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so the Bimini twist, the way I do it, again, there's always different ways and methods of doing it, but this is the best way I know how to do it for myself, and it's worked. Okay, just a few twists, usually about 30. Okay, so you get the twists there in the liner. It's very difficult to see. I've got it in other videos if you wanted to check out how I actually do it. I know it's a bit tough to see that braid there, but there's twists in there. You've got the loop. This is where I connect the leader to. Okay, so basically, I don't know if you're going to be able to see my feet, and I don't actually have shoes on, which makes it harder. Okay, between your feet. Put the line. And then I pull down, keep your feet wide and push out. And then as I push out, I let my right hand holding the line to go down, and it just twists over back. The little twist I had before. Just hold that tight. Again, it might be hard to see this with the braid. And that's it, and that's the Bimini twist. Okay, and that's it there. It's the Bimini twist. So you got a little shock absorber here, right in there, and then a double there to keep the main leader. Just the tag end trip off. trim that. And you're left with that there. So there's a shock absorber, but also double in the line to make that connection to your lead a little bit stronger. So there's the loop. Alright, so there's different methods of doing this, but this is my way. So I put a loop in the leader, which is a lot thicker than the braid. I feed it through. That's why I've got such a long sort of double there. Just give yourself plenty to make this knot. And then I go around 4 times. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And then back over itself 4 times. And once, twice, 3 times, trying to get it in between each of the first lot that you put through, 4. And then to finish off with, back through the way it came in. So if it comes through that way, pull it back through that way. If it comes through the top, pull it through the top. So this one, I've got it going through the top, back through the way it came in. Like that. Alright, bit of lube. And just pull it slowly. As you pull it, you'll see the knot starts to tighten on itself. And then I grab either side. And then pull nice and tight. So you've got a knot that looks like that. It's probably not as slim as some of the other knots in the guides and so on, but I'm not too worried because it's easy to tie, especially when I'm on the water. If you do get it bust off or need to retie something because you've got abrasion or whatever it is, and then just cut off 2 little tag ends. Like that. And then usually I give it a nice little make sure. And there you go, that's how I join my rig to the saltist for kingies. Alright, and then the leader length. Always a rule of thumb is usually the length of the fish that you expect to catch, but because I fish in a lot of spots where moorings and all sorts of things can be a place where kingfish head to, I try to make it a little bit extra long. And usually that's about where I put the clip on then the downrigger. It gives me a bit of a guide. I've got a nice little length where the squid will sort of be attached to the hook at the end of here. But normally about 1.5 meters is the length. Now the hook. The size of the hook depends on the bait that I've got. Normally it's about that size, an 8/0 circle hook. Sometimes I go down to this size here, which is a 6/0. Obviously the 8/0 is, well, that's normally my go-to hook. It's got a thicker gauge on this hook here, but the circle hook is good for down rigging. You've got it set in the down rigger, you don't need to set the hook in the fish. Just a little bit of slack you've got in the line when the fish attacks the squid, automatically sets the hook inside the fish's mouth. I have been trialling in this latest video that I'm doing today a rig with actually a little stinger hook with the treble, and you'll see in the footage that I actually catch one of the bigger kingfish with the treble. Okay, and I tie it just like that, so snelled to the first hook, and it's a good double hook. Sometimes I use 2 circles, but with this instance I've actually tied a treble to the bottom, so that'll go to, obviously that's the leader, alright, the 60-pound leader. Pin the top of the hood of the squid, and then they're just above the head, just pinched in just to trail, and quite often if they miss the first hook, you'll get them on the second. Okay, now how do I attach the hook to the leader? Okay, I use the simplest knot. Okay, again, just to make it simple, and I use this knot pretty much for everything. Okay, there's a lot of YouTube videos about go through this way, go through that way. I haven't seen much difference. Sometimes I'm not thinking about it because you're just trying to attach everything as quick as possible when you're on a hot bite with the kingies. So basically through the eye of the hook, get a bit of a tag in there, make a loop. So then I've got the two lines like that. I go through, depending on the width of or the strength of the leader. Usually with 60 pound I do at least 4 around both of those lines, and then just pull slightly, bit of lube, like that, pull down so it comes down towards the eye of the hook. With this thicker leader, your teeth get a bit of a workout. Sorry to my dentist. Nice and tight. There you go. Simple and quick way of tying the hooks. And when I've got a smallish squid, I'll just tie that to the hood. It sits nicely. Alright, so that's the simple setup that I use. Don't make it complicated. Look, yeah, it's gonna, if you're targeting kings like in New Zealand, 1.5 meters constantly, obviously I'll be using some more complicated, stronger knots possibly. But for the stuff that I do at the moment, it's quick and easy. Obviously, check out the rest of this video. You'll see some footage, me using this rig, testing it out for the first time, which worked good. Obviously, with bigger squid, you put that on the hood, that on just above the head. With the smaller squid, kind of find that'll work, just a single hook. And again, a nice 1.5 meters sort of leader, and that way I've got pretty much where I've got the double starting is where I'll put the clip for the downrigger. So small, didn't even really take off on the downrigger. Wasn't sure if there was something there, I hadn't woken up, but it was just a tiny kingy. Let's try again. I think There's a lot of little ones in here. Here we go again. Proper one. Oh, this one's a good one, I think. That's a better one. Look at that. I got him actually on the stinger. Been trying a little stinger treble at the end, and that's what I got this guy on. On the treble. Be careful though with the trebles. A bit dangerous. Here we go. Nice big, nice colours.